get up to when we're left in the house on our own. Is there anybody there? Happy Friday! How are you this beautiful can you see the sun coming in? Beautiful, beautiful sunny Friday. Is anybody joining me? Is anybody joining me before I start rattling on? Look, I've been joined today by a little panda and a little bunny rabbit. Little bunny rabbit and a little panda sitting nicely. And a little old one. Old one's in background. Look, old one's in background. Where are you? Where have you gone? Oh, oldie in background. Right. Right, just hang on a minute. Am I actually online? Am I actually winning here? Hello, bunny rabbit. Hello, little panda. Look at my cute little panda. Look at him. Hello, little cute little panda. Hello. Anybody joining me? Well, I've got one person with me, so I'm happy to start. It's nice that somebody's joining me. So thank you. Thank you. Got 3 people watching right now. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful sunny, not Saturday, it's Friday. It's Friday. Right, so today, I might just crack straight on. Right, is that all right? Is that all right? I might just crack on. Today, we're talking about living a healthy pregnancy. Now, you know I go off on a tangent sometimes, and it's a bit random because I haven't had a right lot of time to prepare this, but I've just thrown things together that are helpful tips that I've come across. Hi Laura, how are you this Friday? Look at my bunny rabbit and my little panda. They're so cute. They're so cute. You want another? Do you want a tasty mini? Do you want a tasty mini? Here, Alfie, you can have a tasty mini. Here. Right. So we're going to talk about live a healthy pregnancy, and I'll try and keep it brief, but you know I'll go on a little bit. Right, so live a healthy pregnancy. So when you're pregnant, you are not just a vessel. I'm okay, thank you, Laura. You're not just a vessel for growing a baby, but actually you do it really, really well. So we're not just a vessel for growing and carrying a baby. We're so much more. We're so much more. So first of all, I know what it's like when you've been pregnant for a bit, and especially being pregnant in lockdown. You can't go out and show off your bump, and you can't spend time with your friends, and you can't have your usual baby showers, and it's really tough. So a lot of people probably, have you took your ears off? A lot of people are probably just sat indoors in the sloppy joes, in their leggings or whatever, just feeling big and fat. Well, don't feel big and fat. Feel beautifully pregnant, right? Because I'm going to tell you what happens to you during pregnancy. And so first of all, I found, and I'm going to you can find all sorts of these on, look, you're morphing into a dog, and you're supposed to be a little panda. Right, so the changes, actually, I just wanted to, on a serious note, actually remind you how amazing and miraculous pregnancy is, and just to remind you where you start from when you first get pregnant to where you end up. And hey, what do you want? Right, let's take this off. We've had our fun now with this, haven't we? I've had our fun, but the other part of it doesn't fit him. He's too big. You're too big brute, aren't you? A big brute you are, Bailey. Right, stop interrupting me by pawing all over my notes, right? So you can find all sorts of YouTube clips, and I thought I'd share them with you, just to remind you, flipping heck, how amazing it is, how you go from 2 cells. So we've got that middle one there. Everyone's seen this. So you get that. 2 cells, that's how it all starts. And then they, form together and start growing. And then by 32 weeks, just 32 weeks, you've got a little cute baby with little chubby cheeks. Oh, little Andy Pandies. Look at that. And that's only 32 weeks. Isn't that amazing? Hi, Kirsty. So, and look, and I'm going to put on another one, another YouTube clip, because it says 9 months in the womb. And that is amazing, through ultrasound. That was by pregnancychat.com. So I'll put that on. That's pretty amazing. And also, I'm going to put this on because this is a little bit cartoony. That's called The Surprising Effects of Pregnancy. And it's really, really, really helpful, I thought, because it teaches you basically all your organs in pregnancy are affected and change, and it tells you things like how the heart pump needs to pump faster, how the lungs are affected, how women, you know, pretty much run out of room with their lungs, and you know, how the diaphragm works differently in pregnancy. So you go through so many changes in pregnancy. It is quite impressive. So if you can, that's called The Surprising Effects of Pregnancy. I'll put it on afterwards, and if you can, have a look at that one. That's really, really helpful. And I always think I never am happy just for someone to tell me something. I want to know why it happens, you know, the reasons, and I like to know the ins and outs of why something happens or is possible. And I've been sifting through to find YouTube clips of things that I thought were really, really helpful. Hi Felicity, hi Agnieszka. And this one is a midwife called Kira, and I'm going to put that on. So she's got some really, really helpful props. So you can see there she's got a picture of the growing uterus inside mum. Hi Anna. Anna, you all right? Hope you've had a good week, Anna. So that YouTube is Pregnant Women and Women's Anatomy, what's going on in there, which is really helpful. So you see the stripy knitted uterus, and you can see the pelvis. So I sifted through and found that to be one of the more helpful ones, because it sort of explains to you, if you don't know what all the different parts are that midwives refer to. So things like the vagina, the vulva, the cervix. So that's really, really helpful in illustrating what bits are what. And you might think that you know, but you don't, but you're too scared to ask. But it's all right to ask, because not everybody does know these things. We learn that when we become a midwife. Right. And also, this is really interesting. Some of these clips that I've found just show how pregnancy has, let me just pull that across. It's not my most flattering angle with sun on me, is it? Right. How pregnancy affects the brain as well, because hormones change. Hi Mary, how are you? You know, you get different hormonal changes in the brain. And they're really amazing things, like changes in the brain to help you parent better. So things like learning to recognise facial cues, because obviously your baby doesn't talk. And by the way, right, this here is my baby Andy. Baby Andy, yeah, come here, baby Andy. So baby Andy baby Andy was started life as baby Annabelle. But I got baby Andy some clothes that were too big, so I've adapted them. And all my children have laughed at poor baby Andy and said that poor baby Andy looks like Chucky. I'm not happy about that. Poor, what a shame. Your mummy loves you anyway. It's all right, I'll look after you. Right, so we've got baby Andy. Do you like baby Andy? Do you like baby Andy? Yeah. Right, so... No, you're distracting me, Andy. Sit there nicely. Sit there nicely. So, helping you, you know, recognise baby's facial cues, which you need to do. And, you know, you'll be amazed at how well they trust your body, because your maternal instincts, you know, very often kick in, and you're the one that knows what your baby wants. Hi Kirsty, how are you? Hi Levi. So we're going to start off. So I've showed you some of the absolute miracles. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? That little one there. ends up turning into this. It's amazing. It really is amazing. So first of all, we're going to look at your body changing in pregnancy and how it changes afterwards. And some of the things that are really, really important in pregnancy. Number one, really, really important, your diet. Your diet. So your body uses a lot of energy to, the first few weeks where we advise that you take folic acid until 12 weeks and vitamin D all the way through your pregnancy, and also making sure that you're eating a good, healthy, balanced diet. So if you eat meat, you make sure the meat's well cooked through, and if you're not sure about what you can and can't eat, there's a fab list on the NHS and the government website. You can just Google it, you can find the list, but basically make sure things are well cooked through. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, make sure you're really, really careful to make sure that you're getting all the nutrition that you can. And one of the things that sometimes happens to women in pregnancy, because it is normal to lay down fat, around these bits here, so that's extra to carry in pregnancy. That's normal to put a little bit of weight around there in pregnancy, but you don't want to pile on loads and loads of weight that is not going to disappear once baby's born, because as long as you've got a really healthy, wholesome diet, you're doing everything you can to grow that baby as efficiently and healthily as possible. So what I'm talking about are things like when you sort of get pregnant, you're putting a bit of weight on, you're changing shape, so any good nutrition goes out the window, and you go, well, I'm going to have McDonald's every night for my tea, I'm going to have carry-outs whenever I feel like it. And just be careful that some of those things, particularly very processed foods, so you can be eating a lot of food, but you can still be depriving yourself of lots of nutritional goodness that you find primarily in fruit and vegetables, and the different vitamins that you should be getting from a balanced diet. So there's a really, really good documentary that I watched once. It's called Super Size Me. I don't know whether you can still get it. Hello. But if you can, so interesting. After I watched Super Size Me, I stopped eating that muck that you get from certain fast food outlets, because what they found was, apart from it being really unhealthy, there was no nutritional value in anything. So what's the point in eating something that there's, at least when you eat cheese, you're getting some calcium from it, and milk, you're getting some calcium, but in some of these fast food parcels, it's all right to have it as a treat, but just make sure that you're getting lots of other vitamins and minerals, things that you can't really go wrong with. Bags of spinach. So the bags of spinach, very often you can just put a few, what we do is we get the baby spinach leaves in the bags that are just with the salad stuff, and put it on the side of your plate. So you just make sure it's washed, you've not cooked it, but you can eat it like with your salad, and that's really good for you. And the green, brightly coloured fruit and vegetables. Hi Philippa, hi Olivia, hello, nice of you to join me with my doggy. So it's, what we don't want to do is, in pregnancy, you're not going on a diet, but it doesn't mean that you can't make an extra special effort, especially in lockdown, where we're all really tempted, aren't we, by crisps and chocolate. And I was eating crisps and chocolate the other day. But as long as you make an effort, and do you know what, one of the best things I find to just bulk up the goodness is making a big pan of vegetable soup. I use the Bouillon vegetarian stock, and you basically just chop up any vegetables you've got, and chuck them all in a pan, and it makes, and what I do as well, just to give it a bit of extra body, I always put dried lentils in as well, the orange ones, just to give it a little bit more. And things like that are really, really good for you. And And I tell you what I learned recently about smoothies. Be mindful of smoothies, and I'll tell you why. Because they're all brightly coloured on the shelves, and they look really good for you, but often they are very, very, very loaded with sugar. Now, if you juice an orange, actually I learnt this from Dr. Jason Fung, who wrote the Obesity Code book. What he said was, you're better off eating an actual orange rather than just drinking the juice from an orange if it's been through a juicer. And that's because when you put things through your smoothie maker or your juicer, you take away a lot of the fibre that's really good for you that's in an orange. So he basically says, if you're having a glass of orange juice, you might have a glass full of orange juice and it might have 4 orange worth of juice, whereas you wouldn't eat 4 oranges. But by eating the 1 orange, you're eating less sugar, but you're getting all that valuable fibre as well that is so important. So just be mindful of high sugars in smoothies. Anyway, so that's my little rant over. And what's really, really good is in this, I'm going to put these up for you, but in this, it tells you about how your body needs iron, you know, and how your body is making red blood cells, and that iron is really, really important. So that, if you don't watch any of the little snippets, the little YouTube clips I put up today, watch that one. That one's really, really good. So an iron rich diet. And if you don't know, do you know what? We've got resources at our fingertips, Google, you know, and you know which are the reliable sources. The NHS websites and the government websites are usually pretty good. And also your trust, like the trust I'm in, the Maternity Matters app, and the website that you go to register your pregnancy. There's loads and loads of information, leaflets on there about what to eat in pregnancy. So that's the diet is so important. What you put into your body is really, really important. And what can happen, what happened to me in pregnancy was, it felt like I was really, really sensitive to my insulin levels going up and down. So all of a sudden I'd find myself starving hungry, like with the shakes, and have to eat some chocolate. But you can avoid that happening to you if you eat more longer, slower acting release, things like oats and stuff like that, rather than just having like your cereal, having porridge with not loads of sugar on, instead of your Frosties that are full of sugar, and then you can help stabilize your blood sugars without you feeling like you're starving all the time. So the next thing I wanted to go on to in your body in pregnancy is looking after your skin. And this is one that I need to listen to my own advice. Looking after your skin. So in pregnancy, obviously your tummy grows, and very often women will get stretch marks. You might have heard of that. So when the skin is, your tummy's getting bigger, and you can get like, it looks like sort of tear marks on the skin. And very often women will get that in pregnancy. You can get it on your tummy, but also you can get them in other places as well that you might not know. So I didn't even notice until I'd had my baby that I had all stretch marks at the top of my legs, but they were only quite fine ones. But don't let it alarm you too much, because very often when you get stretch marks on your tummy, they're really quite red. But given time, those just fade to, and the redness goes out of them, and they fade to a more of a silvery colour that you can't really see. And that's like your bravery tattoo. You have carried a little human being, and you should be proud of those. And it's not anything to be ashamed of. What some women do in pregnancy to help their tummy stretch a little bit more is, very often women will put like body butters on. Just be careful that they're for pregnancy and that they're safe in pregnancy. But I get to feel a lot of women's tummies, and you can definitely feel the tummies that are soft and supple, and you go, ooh, beautiful skin. And I think it's just about, with your tummy, a bit like we do with our faces, keeping that skin well hydrated. However, the butters and things like that make your skin feel a bit more hydrated. But the best thing is making sure that you're hydrating yourself from the inside. So making sure you drink plenty of water. And this is something I'm trying to work on myself, because I don't drink enough water. So really trying to hydrate yourself. And I'm at the moment, actually, I am having big problems. You know, because of all the PPE we're wearing all the time, I'm having massive problems with the glove wearing, and I'm starting to get horrible hands, and I've had a flare up of my eczema. So I look like I've got 8-year-old hands, and I pick them and they're sore and cracked and horrible. Hi, Lindsay. So I guess I just need to do the same with that. I need to just keep moisturising it and keep drinking plenty of water. So that might be something that helps. And also, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is something that people find a little bit embarrassing, and that is perineal massage. Has anyone heard of perineal massage? Not the midwives that are watching, please. No cheating. Anyway, so very often you've never heard of the word perineum until you're having a baby. And you might have heard of perineal massage. So first of all, I'm going to show you a really handy diagram of where the perineal muscle is. So it's basically a sling of muscle that goes underneath your you know, in your pelvis, that holds all everything up. So you can see there, so you can see it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? You know what's going on there. So you've got the vulva, and the vagina goes into there, and then you've got your back passage. So the little piece of skin that's there, that is where the perineal muscle is, goes round there like that. So when you're having a baby, obviously the baby comes down the vaginal, the birth canal, and this you can see. So don't panic too much if you're having your first baby. This thing here is designed for babies to come out of. It's amazingly designed, and inside the vagina there are loads and loads of folds of skin that are designed to stretch and open. And they do it really, really well. So all these folds, even though some people might think, oh, I don't want to look at that, they're designed perfectly to stretch and open out in preparation for birth. So when baby's head starts to come out of here or starts to crown, sometimes this area here, the perineum, stretches. And when baby's head's coming out, it does get quite tight. So, and very often round this area, when babies are being born, very often you can get little tears that occur there. Sometimes you can get labial tears that are at the top, but it's not, don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. They're really, really common, especially if it's your first baby. However, I want to tell you something, right? So it's not inevitable that you're going to have a tear. It's not inevitable. Some people don't have tears. So my first baby I had at 17, and I just had little grazes at the top here that they don't need stitching, and they just heal on their own. So I've never needed any stitches, even for a first baby. So that proves that this thing works pretty well at birthing a baby. So that's what it's for. It is big enough, it will stretch, and it will go back to normal afterwards. And very often, I can speak from experience, you know, it's amazing. You know, your bits won't feel the same when you've just had a baby. But as long as you do those squeezing, we've talked about pelvic floor exercises before, as long as you do the pelvic floor squeezing exercises, you know, things do go back. you know, your body just does change a lot. So hopefully I'm going to address some of the changes so you're not really, really fearful. But I don't want you to be frightened. And another thing women are really, really worried about is opening their bowels when they're having a baby. Right. So let's have a look at this picture again. So this here, that's your back passage, right? This here is where the baby's head's going to come out of. So if you imagine that baby's head probably is behind here, is this big. So you can see when the baby's head is coming out, it's flattening all your bowels. So it does flatten your bowels. So you are not laying on a bed or in labour pushing out a poo. But what will happen is if you do have any poo in your bottom, very often a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit might come out. But if that's something that is particularly bothering you in early labour, if you feel like you need to open your bowels, and then there's nothing in there. You know, simple, you know. And so women sort of think that they're going to have a great big poo and it's on the bed and it's disgusting and everyone's going to see it. It's not like that, really, really, really. The midwives will have it whipped away and you won't even know. Nobody will see anything. It'll be away, and so it's not anything that you need. You don't need to worry about that. Please don't worry about that. You know, we're not looking at that. We're just looking at where your baby's coming out and that everything's working as it should do. So that does work really well. So the reason I'm showing you this picture of the perineum, that bit there, is because it does stretch and it becomes quite tight, and it does, everything stretches, opens, and you have a baby. But some midwives are really, really keen on perineal massage. So you can just imagine, can't you, what perineal massage is? So it's using a safe oil to basically get your thumbs, and what you're doing is you're just massaging that skin. So this skin here, so you do need to put your thumbs just inside the entrance of the vagina. You know, this is the vulva. And you're just massaging that skin. Now, we're British and we get embarrassed about these things, but let me tell you, that's where the baby's coming out. And if you want to do everything you can to avoid tearing, I'd try it. You know, I've looked after lots of ladies who are having the first babies and they didn't get any tears. And I've asked them, you know, if they did anything. They said, yeah, well, I tried to do the perineal massage. So perineal massage is a bit tricky if you've got a big bump in the way. And if you look on sites, and I'm going to put up, I don't know whether I'll be able to do this, but I found a leaflet that was really helpful. And it talks about doing perineal massage from 34 weeks. But that was really, really helpful. So do you know what? You can feel embarrassed about it. I guess it just depends how good a relationship you've got, number one, with your own body, and number two, maybe with your partner who might want to help you out. But I'm going to put up a video as well of this is a YouTube clip I found. Oh, hello. Called it's from the Helping Hands doula, and it's called Avoiding Tearing in Labour with Perineal Massage. And they've got this sort of, well, you can see it's like a material type demonstration model to show you. So they're showing you the techniques, and you put the pressure on and just giving it a rub. They talk about the sensation of burning, which I'm not too sure about. But I just do it, just gently doing it really, and massaging that area. Hi Liga, hi Amy. So don't be embarrassed. There's loads of things we can help you with, and if you've got any questions, you know, you should be able to speak to your community midwives. So we've talked about oh, and one of the things that they say on these with perineal massage, you shouldn't do perineal massage if you've got any sort of infections like herpes or any other thrush or anything like that needs addressing. Hiya Janice, how are you this sunny Friday? So so that's just so, you know, it's up to you whether you do these things or not, but it's knowing where to find the information. But I just think we put things on our face, don't we, to make them more supple and soft. So what's the difference doing it with your perineum? Just giving it a bit of a massage, you know, and if it makes a difference and it helps that skin be more supple and... Oh, there's a cat here now. There's a cat here. This is my daughter's cat. Do you want to go out? Do you want to go out? Do you want to go out? Oh, she squealed at me yesterday because I trapped a foot in the window. Hello, Jazzy cat. What, are you going out or not? Right, well, let's just leave the window open. It is like a zoo round here. Right, okay, so we've talked about some of the physical changes, but I wanted to talk to you because I've had 4 babies and I'm all right with my body at the moment. I'm all right. But there are some things that you need to know how your body changes. So I found some photographs. I can't remember where I found this one from. But the reason I chose this first picture is because the cat's just sat here. Are you going in or out? I like this picture because it perfectly demonstrates how your tummy feels when you've just given birth. Hi Liga. Hi Elmer. So, brilliant. So you can see from this picture, and I'm going to show it you now. You can see from that picture, that looks like the birthing pool. So I'm guessing, I hope you can see it properly. I'm guessing that young lady, right, she's very slim actually. But you can you see from there? Actually, I'm going to draw a line round where her belly is. Let me draw a line round her belly. Right, hang on, Bailey, hang on. Right, I'm going to draw. Bailey, you don't need to help me because you can't really see it on there. But I'm drawing this so you can see the shape of her belly when she's just given birth. Can you see a bit better like that? So when you've just had a baby, it feels proper weird. I'm telling you now, it feels weird because you've had this great big firm tummy and it literally feels like you've been turned inside out. It feels very strange because the tummy doesn't immediately go back to its original size and it just sort of hangs down like that. It hangs down and that bit of belly is really quite squidgy and it feels weird. But don't be alarmed by that feeling. That is because you have just given birth to a baby. So you can see that girl's got some great big nice disposable pants on. So don't be alarmed at your tummy like that. And some women feel really bad because when they've given birth they still look like they're pregnant. Well, you know, she could be 20 weeks pregnant, couldn't she? You know, but look at the size of that baby that's just come out of her tummy. So if you want to make yourself feel better, look at the size of your baby and say, wow, how on earth did that baby fit in there? And actually, if you think about it like that, her tummy's tiny. So that's only immediately your tummy feels weird and soft and squidgy and weird. Honestly, it feels really weird. So give yourself a few days and it starts to feel, your uterus starts to go, your uterus goes back to its original position really quite quickly. And the things that will help your tummy, your uterus go back to its original shape and size is breastfeeding. And sometimes when you're breastfeeding, you feel like really bad period pains sometimes. And that's the uterus getting pulled back into its original position. So I want to show you some of the images that there are in the media, right? And I'll show you these ones I found on the red carpet. I think, is that Heidi Klum? Is that Heidi Klum? Can you actually see? So you've got her. She looks gorgeous. Just got a bump. And then, hang on, I don't know who these ones are. But I'm going to show, hang on, who is it? Let me see. Oh, you all know who these are. I don't know who they are. Don't know who she is. But, right. So one thing that I noticed about these is that they have probably got plenty of money to do themselves up. They've got plenty of money to get a posh frock fitted perfectly, and they're all to the floor. So they all probably have advisors to say, you know what, you're going to look your best. You're going to look your best if you wear a long frock to elongate your body. So, do you know, underneath all that, how do you know they haven't got cellulite and wobbles and all the rest of it? How do you know they haven't got cellulite and stretch marks? Just because they've got the nice bit of makeup on and they all look gorgeous in the posh frocks. So that's the image that were portrayed in the media. But I wanted to give you some other ones that I really, really liked. So this is Nicki Minaj. So look at her. Right, so Nicki Minaj, that picture tells me she's perfectly comfortable in her own skin. And, you know, she's got some nice curves going on there, and she's not afraid to show them. And I think that makes her look really, really attractive. And I think this is her as well. She's just embracing it, isn't she? She's just owning it. How gorgeous does she look? So, you know, I think you just got to go with it. And I found this picture that I couldn't not show you. She's called Neha Kakkar. Have you ever heard of her? She's apparently a Bollywood singer, right? And I like this because more than anything, she just looks comfortable in her own skin, and she just looks really, really, really happy. I love that picture. And don't they look like the picture of a perfect couple? But she just looks really happy, and she's happy in her dungarees, and happy, healthy, and terrific. And then I found other pictures. I thought, who's this singer? She's lovely, isn't she? And so I had a look at some more pictures, and I thought, oh, she's just an happy person, isn't she? How gorgeous is she? Do you know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Sonia. Do you remember the Scouse lass, I think she was, with red hair? I think she reminds me of Sonia, just like with that massive smile. So it makes... Are you going to sit here, Kat, all day? Are you going to sit there all day? I'm going to shut the window if you... Are you coming? I'm shutting the window because you're just looking out the window, aren't you? Like a zoo here, I tell you. Right, where was I? So, it's all about loving yourself and your body and your changes. And so we've talked about those. And, right, after you've had your baby. After you've had your baby. Right, I don't want to upset anybody, but very often your skin changes because it has stretched huge, and whether it makes any difference whether you use any oils and creams or anything to make your skin supple, but I think these are a really good example of how the skin can change, and it's okay and it's normal. So this lady here, she looks quite slim, but you can see that skin's a little bit ruckled. And then this one is a lady who, you know, that's not unusual, you know. So the skin can sometimes just get a little bit overstretched. And I don't know how soon after birth that is, but that is perfectly normal. And with time, things do tone up, and with exercise, things tone up, and the muscles behind tone up if you do exercise. But I want you to be realistic about how your body changes and what you should expect, because going back to how you were before, you know, might just be a little bit different. And I quite liked these because I thought this was really, really helpful. This young lady it shows her from 36 weeks pregnant. So there she is, 36 weeks pregnant. And there she is 2 weeks after having a baby. And then that's 2 weeks. So that's fair enough. I think that's pretty normal. So you can see her belly is still a little bit, you know, pregnancy sort of shape. and that's normal. So then you've got, this is after 3 months. So that's not bad, is it? So that's not bad for 2 weeks. But just be patient with your body and realise that these changes are perfectly normal. And you're not fat, you've had a baby. So be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself. So there we've got 3 months. There we've got, look at her, 6 months. 9 months. And then 12 months. Look at her. So we've got 36 weeks pregnant. And that's not a tiny baby. That's a nice size baby. To 12 months. So, I mean, I know she's sucking a belly in there, but that's not bad, is it? So I'm guessing that to get in that, to get back to that level, she's probably done a little bit of exercise. She probably eats healthy, and she looks pretty happy. I think she looks pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So this lady has, she's done some pictures that she posted. So there you go. Look at that after 1 week. Normal after having a baby. 2 weeks. And I think she's looking pretty good. 4 weeks. That's pretty good. 6 weeks. Wow, look at her. 6 weeks. And then we've got 8 weeks. That, now, come on. That's not bad. 9 weeks. 11 weeks. Look at her. 6 months. So you can't expect. I don't know how some celebrities do it. Maybe they just have really good supports. I don't know. And I also wanted to show you how your breasts change as well. So, just a personal story. Some people say that when you've breastfed, so your breastfeeding is going to ruin your boobs and they'll just end up like spaniel's ears and that'll be the end of it. But actually, I mean, I had my first baby when I was 17. So before that, my boobs were quite nice and pert. Thank you very much. Nice size, which comes with being young. So whether you've had a baby or not, with age, things tend to get a little bit more saggy. And the thing when you're pregnant and you're breastfeeding, you get what my husband affectionately terms the milk marketing board moves in. So your breasts will change and the milk glands and milk ducts will all develop, and once you've had your baby, those milk glands start to fill up with milk. And if you imagine the structure of the breast, how it looks, so it's not just one hole that comes out of the nipple that the milk comes out of. All those little cracks in the end of the nipple, those normal, not actual cracks, but the lines that you can see on the nipples, there's lots and lots of little holes that the milk comes out of, and all those milk ducts all go up into the breast, and it kind of looks like a cauliflower, if you will. So the lumpy bits, a bit like a cauliflower, are the parts of the breast that fill up with milk. So the breasts change when the breasts fill up with milk, and they look different again when the baby's fed, or when you've expressed. So I found a really nice picture, and to be honest with you, I think I'd forgotten the first 2 births, but I remember going into Marks and Spencer's for a nursing bra. I think it was like day 4 or day 5, and my boobs were like woof, with all these green veins down them, and I went, oh my god, though they're like cannonballs, massive, and the big, the hard, the lumpy. So this is a really good picture, I think, of it's before and after feeding. So this is the lady's boobs. So they're big and full of milk, right? And then she's taken a picture of her boobs after feeding. So they do go down. So your breasts do change. In pregnancy they get bigger, but then they go different again when they fill up with milk. And sometimes they can feel quite lumpy. And if you've got any concerns about any soreness or any problems, you'd need to speak to your own midwife to have a look, check everything's okay. But they do change. And one of the things you've got to get used to if you're breastfeeding is sometimes they leak, and sometimes, very often you've got breast pads in there. Some women's boobs leak more than others. Some women's boobs leak when they hear the babies crying, So, it's a different time in your life, but you're doing such a valuable job of feeding your baby, so all this is normal. And when you've stopped feeding, or if you choose not to feed your baby from the breast, your breasts do go back to normal. They might not be perfectly like they were before, but one of the things, so I found personally, with age, your boobs get a bit saggier. That's how it is. But I don't think by having 4 children that my breasts changed massively every time. And I've breastfed all 4 children, but they do, I would say they've gone back to pretty much what they looked like before. They were never perfectly let's be honest, because I've always had quite big boobs. But one of the things that I wondered, because I was having a look at a lot of pictures of the way boobs change and the way that the sort of nipple starts off by pointing up and eventually it pointing down. I was having a look at those and I thought, well, I don't really recognise that in myself. And you know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if I've always been quite a frequent swimmer all through my pregnancy, since before I was pregnant. So I've always tried to go swimming at least once a week. I haven't been since about February. I'm looking at that cat. What's she doing? Look. What's she doing? Walking over all my husband's papers that are for the accountant. Cats are weird, aren't they? Cats are weird. Anyway, so I think that swimming, because obviously swimming, you're using the pectoral muscles that are behind the breast. So, the pectoral muscles are what sit behind your breasts, and they're, if they're nice and toned, then it's going to support your breasts better. So I think, when we can all get back to swimming, I certainly think swimming is a good exercise that you can do. Gentle swimming in pregnancy is good, although just be careful with if you've got any sort of pelvic pain, sometimes that can make it worse. But I've swum through all my pregnancies and afterwards, and I tell you something now, good for keeping those pectoral muscles nice and toned, but good for your stomach as well. I've always had a flat stomach when I've been swimming a lot. I've put weight on because of lockdown and because of my age and not going swimming enough. So anyway, what do you want? So anyway, have I got any more pictures to show you about changes in your body? So it's just knowing that these normal things happen, but just because you've had a baby, it doesn't mean that you're going to be 15 sizes bigger. There are little changes, but as long as you exercise and eat a healthy diet, you don't need to put loads of weight on, and you don't need to stress load. Look what this cat's doing. I'm not even joking. Look, they're all my pictures that I need to show, Jazzy. Look at her what's this? I can't deal with cats. They're unpredictable. They're unpredictable cats, but anyway, it's always asking me, what? I told you, unpredictable, lying on all my stuff. Right, where was I? So we're talking about bodies. Stop, don't take that off there. Oh my goodness me. Right, let me get all these things. I don't think you sat on anything else. So we've talked about this cat. Well, watch this cat, what she's doing with my pen. Oh, look. You're giving her a kiss. Do you like the cat? I'm not quite sure they like each other, but anyway. So I wanted to go on about, this leads me really, really nicely onto the mind in pregnancy, because us humans are weird creatures and our minds just go off doing weird stuff. And it's been a weird period for everybody who's been pregnant and not being able to attend appointments with partners. But I wanted to just address some of the things in pregnancy that you can do to try and keep a healthy mental state. And know at the end, I'll point you in directions of support systems that are good for our local area. But first of all, I have had 4 children and I'm pretty happy with my body, and I'm not sure my body would have looked that much different now if I'd not had kids. I've found the biggest changes in my body have happened because of perimenopause, piling weight on. I'm not happy about that, but that would have happened anyway. So you can't always blame it always on having kids. So there are good, good ways you can look after yourself. And they're not complicated things. We all know these things. They're not easy things. Eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and exercise. And when you're pregnant, and even during lockdown, we can all go out for a walk. It's nice and sunny, so I'll be getting myself out with the dogs later on. Nice brisk walk is good for pregnancy as well. So what I tell you what it made me think. Has anybody been watching that Shit Creek or whatever it's called? Schitt's Creek. Have you been watching that? And anyway, Revelation, the woman in Schitt's Creek, is that how you say it? Or are you supposed to say it different? The woman in that Schitt's Creek, do you know who it is? It's her out of Home Alone. It's the mum out of Home Alone. Hi Charlotte, hi Melissa, hi Kirsty, hi Hanan, how are you? So, Schitt's Creek, so the woman there, have you seen her? She makes me laugh with all the wigs and what have you. But she had some really, really helpful words of wisdom on the last one I watched. And she said she was looking for old pictures of herself and on the internet. And anyway, she was saying to one of the younger characters, she was saying, when you're old, you will look on those photographs of yourself when you're young so much more favourably. And I thought, do you know what? She's so right. She's so right. So I went rummaging through my old photographs, and do you know what? I'm not sure. I think you've had to have it drummed into you as a child or a youngster that you are beautiful and that you're perfect to have any sort of self-confidence in your body. Because I think as women, we're always so cruel to ourselves. We're always so critical of ourselves. And I am no different. And I've always been a plain Jane as a child growing up. Mrs. Ordinary, Mrs. Average. And to be honest with you, when I was growing up, I was a bit straight up and down. I was the last one to develop. And I was always, and I, a lot of my younger years, I had very, very short hair. And pretty much I looked like a boy. I did. I was never a stunner. So I always used to just feel like ordinary and not pretty and very self-critical. And, boys at school used to laugh at me when I started wearing a bra because I didn't have any boobs to put in it. But I just wanted a bra because everyone else had a bra. So I wanted to be the same. Probably just had little fried eggs. Anyway, so this is a lovely picture I have found of me and my little sister. So my little sister's just had a baby recently, and I'm 10 years older than her. So I don't know how old she was then, but that's me and her in my mum's garden when she was, I don't know, maybe she was 6 or something like that. I don't know. So I was probably, she was probably 5 and I was probably 15, right? And I look back at that and I think, can you see that cardigan I've got on is probably about size 14. I used to wear big baggy clothes because I just wanted to hide myself. I thought I had a massive backside, and I tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like my big squidgy nose. I didn't like my freckles. And can you see there, right, look at my teeth. So when I was a little girl, I used to suck my fingers like that. And I ended up with really, really goofy teeth, like proper going, that was going that way and that was going that way. And I had a brace. So I got bullied for being goofy, Bugs Bunny, all the rest of it. And it made it worse when I got glasses, when I got NHS glasses as well. That was even worse. But so I got bullied because I had horrible goofy teeth, which to be fair, it was my own fault for sucking my fingers. But sucking fingers, you can't take a dummy off someone, can you? So anyway, I had a brace. When I had a brace, when the brace came off, my teeth were perfect. I didn't hardly have any fillings. They were perfectly white, perfectly in line. I didn't drink tea, didn't drink coffee, didn't drink Coca-Cola. Perfectly white, perfectly straight. But do you know what? Now I'm old, right? My teeth, what happens? They don't tell you this when you wear a brace. Well, they didn't then tell you that you have a brace and it'll make your teeth nice and straight. And then as soon as you stop wearing it, or when you get old, or if you lose any teeth, they'll all move again. They'll be like all over the place, like Stonehenge. So my teeth have moved. So I thought then my teeth were always going to be that straight. And now I hate my teeth now. But in that picture, I look back at this picture and I was so busy worrying about being ordinary, my big fat squidgy nose and having a big backside, because I've got quite curvaceous hips, and that let's just call them, I always used to call them saddlebag thighs, because I've always had, like, you know, considering I was straight up and down when I was a little girl, I developed these saddlebag thighs, and that's just the shape of my body. But I always saw that as me being fat, and I hated it. So I was too busy worrying about my thighs, worrying about my backside, covering. So I used to wear those big baggy cardigans so it covered my backside up. And also my hair now is really, really grey. I dye it. Look, you can see how pale it is there. But I dye my hair. But then I had nearly black hair, and I kid you not, I had it in a bob, and you could see it looked like a halo. I had such a beautiful, it was like silk, my hair. I had a beautiful ring of shine on my hair, and I didn't do anything special with it, and they didn't have straighteners in them days. But I was too busy criticising myself to notice all the beautiful parts of me. So that's that. And the other thing, I wouldn't wear, I've got a rare picture of me wearing shorts. That's a picture, there's my little girl Georgia, but that's me on holiday, a very, very, very rare picture of me wearing shorts. And I'm only wearing shorts because I was on holiday and on the beach, and it's just covering up a bit more than wearing a bikini, isn't it? Because I hated my thighs, and look at them knobbly knees. People have always took mickey at me for having knobbly knees. Look at me knobbly knees knocking about. And I've always had knobbly knees, big calves and little ankles. But rather than saying, haven't I got beautiful slim ankles, I'd always say, look at my horrible big thighs and my horrible big calves. So that's another, you know, and I was lovely and slim there. But I was too busy criticising myself when I was, I don't know, I was in my, I think I was about 29 there. Too busy criticising myself to enjoy my figure at the time. And this one here, I'm going to show you. This was when I was pregnant with my 4th child. You can see what I mean about my thighs. So I think I was about 4 months pregnant or something like that. So you can see my tummy getting a little bit bigger. But actually, I was 4 months pregnant then. Now, look. And I do have a lot of cellulite on the back of my legs. That's why I don't like wearing anything short. But we do have a go. We're all horrible to ourselves. And knobbly knees. And do you know what? At the time, I probably thought I looked better than that. But looking at the photographs, I thought, oh, that's awful. Look at, oh, what an awful bra top. Look, little saggy boobs and horrible fat thighs. So that's what you tell yourself. This is the same holiday. And there you go. So you can see there, you can look at me. Well, I have got knobbly knees, but I don't care anymore. But that belly there, I'd look over and I'd go, oh, I'd cringe. Can you see me little folds of skin hanging over my bikini? I mean, I was pregnant then. However, Or was I pregnant? I can't remember. That might have been a different... No, I think that was a different holiday because my hair's a bit longer there. I think that was a different holiday. Oh, I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe it was the same holiday. But anyway, so you get your photographs back, don't you? And go... And you don't see my nice toned shoulders because I went swimming all the time. All I'm seeing is my belly hanging over my knickers and my knobbly knees. That's all I'm seeing. So I'm just going to share some pictures of me. That was me when I was, I don't know, 30 odd weeks pregnant. I mean, look, I've got a dodgy haircut there, haven't I? Well dodgy. But I was very lucky. I didn't put loads of weight on. But you still go, oof. Oh, there's another one. Oh, another rare one with, they're my bed shorts. And I wanted these beautiful pictures of me and my daughter. Just, you know, like the ones you see in the in magazines of like nude pictures of you with your children looking really arty. I wanted that. Well, of course I asked my husband to take it, and look at it. Look at how he's took it. So I've had to put a bit of tape over my bum so can't offend anybody. But that's me and my daughter. Oh, you can really see my bum through that. There you go. Don't want to offend you. But look at how arty that is with the bottle of sparkling water in the background. He didn't think about that too much, did he? But anyway, so that is, I've been quite slim. I've put on extra weight round my legs. I've put, you don't have a waist when you're pregnant. All that fills out. So you've got extra weight here, which is perfectly normal. And all those pictures where I'm slagging myself off, I found this one. And I did have to put a piece of tape over my ex-husband because it was a long time ago. But there was me on a holiday. Oh, you can't really see him. With my two eldest daughters. So I was, I don't know, maybe I was 20. I was probably 23 or something then. But even then, I hated my legs. I hated my big bum. Hated my body. Hated my saggy boobs. Right? And I look at that now and I think, God, I remember when I used to wear little tennis skirts. And I think I wish I looked like that now. That's for sure. After 2 kids, I wish I looked like that. But you don't. So the point of me showing you these pictures and telling you my feelings about them is because when you're young, don't waste how gorgeous you are. Because when you get a little bit older, your body will change again. And people usually look, when they get to my age, I'm 47 now, when you get to my age, you normally, you know, look back at pictures like that and think, oh, didn't I look good? I wish I appreciated and strutted round like I was it. I wish I strutted round with the confidence. I look at that and I thought, oh, God, I looked all right. I was like, cover my bum up. Right, so anyway, what was I going to tell you about now? Not forever. So how we see our pregnant body. So your pregnancy isn't forever. It's only for 9 months. So you need to look after your body in and out of pregnancy. It's only for 9 months. So when you're pregnant and you feel like your pregnancy is going on for like ever, I tell you what, once you've had your baby will be 1 year old like that. There's a midwife that I work with and she put a picture on Facebook, on social media of her little girl, and I thought, you are joking me. You are joking me. Her baby has turned into a little person and it goes so quickly. So, you know, don't hang in there when you're pregnant. Hang in there and be kind to yourself and look after your body. And one of the things that I've learned about your feelings is that it's all right to acknowledge when you feel anxious and when you feel down and when you feel fed up and even when you feel having a depressed day or a depressed week. Hi, Jen. Hi, Kim. Hi, Sue. So, and rather than just trying to bury feelings, I mean, your brain is such an amazing thing. You know, a lot of the time when you get feelings, especially of anxiety, it's your brain's way of trying to alert you to something that might be dangerous. So if your kitchen's set on fire, you would feel anxious. And you feel anxious because you need to take some action. You need to do something. So that anxious feeling in that instance is to make you get your children and get out of the house, you know, phone the fire brigade, you know. So sometimes it can be really helpful to, if you're feeling really, really anxious, don't just feel stupid about it. Ask yourself, what is it you're feeling anxious about? And, you know, say, right, okay, I'm feeling anxious, and just sort of owning that feeling. And is there anybody that can help you with what you're feeling anxious about? Or is it something that, you know, if you're feeling anxious all the time, I read a little tip about finding a time to be anxious. So, hi Tracy, if you're feeling somebody who feels anxious all the time about everything, and let's face it, lots of people are at the moment, can you put that anxious feeling to one side? And actually, I've got what I've called a ducket bucket, right? So I've got a metal bucket, and it's got a picture of a little ducky on the front, and it says ducket bucket on. So I've got my ducket bucket, it's in the car. So things that I become anxious about, I'm going to put them in that ducket bucket, and I'm going to leave them there till I can find time to work through, and it either comes out and I deal with it, or I just leave it in the ducket bucket and move on. I have to be very careful about how I say this. So something happened to me this week, and you know me, I'm a sensitive soul, and I cry sometimes, and sometimes, you know, just get over it, and sometimes you've got to find a way to work through things. So I got a message off somebody who had differing views to me about vaccines. She'd had a look on my page and felt very strongly to message me. And I understand why she felt so strongly, because of her own experiences. But it was quite, let's just say, assertive. And I read it, and I always try and do the right thing, but I don't always get it right. I admit that. Sometimes I make mistakes, and sometimes I upset people without even trying. And this was one of those instances that I upset somebody without even trying, because they didn't agree with some of my views on vaccinations, which is fine. But actually, it's okay to have differing views. Wouldn't it be boring? We'd be like robots if we all had the same views about everything. So I read this very lengthy message. You know, it was somebody who's not a personal friend of mine, but when you get a message, somebody wants to message you. So I read it, lengthy message, basically slating me and saying how disappointed they were, and I should look at this and reconsider and whatever. So I sat at my kitchen table, and I couldn't help but I just cried, because I just felt really, really rubbish, you know, because I'd obviously upset someone, and that upset me, because I don't mean to upset people. So I'm sorry if I ever upset people by accident. That's never my intention. Excuse me. So I just messaged back saying I'm really sorry that I'd upset her, really, and just left it at that. So I felt that I responded appropriately, and, you know, not aggressively, because I'm not an aggressive person. And I thought about why it had upset me so much, and it's because I care about people. And then I thought, well, you know, I can't dwell on something that I can't change what other people think, and I just, you know, people are entitled to their own opinions. So that little snippet of, I am a terrible, bad person, I should really think about what I'm basically telling the world, that went into my ducket bucket, and I'm over it. I'm over it, because I don't feel like, for having my own opinions and trying to do my job, I don't think that means that I'm doing something wrong. It just means that other people are entitled to their own opinions. So when you've got anxieties about something, it's really good to try and address them, and then decide whether you need to deal with it or whether it's going in the ducket bucket. And very often when you look at your anxieties later on, your chimp mind your chimp mind is basically the part of the brain that takes in all information and then reacts to try and protect you. It's a whole book about the chimp management by Steve Peters. But anyway, so then what? So your chimp mind always reacts first to try and protect you, and then the logical mind kicks in a bit later. And that's why very often people react in a certain way and then they calm down after they've had time to process the information and make a logical decision with their human brain. So very often when you've got an anxiety about somebody said something about you, somebody's been rude to you, or somebody said you've done something wrong, or somebody's been really rude to you at work, you know, try and park that to one side and then sit there and think, right, have a think about it in a different light. And then hopefully with the passage of time, you get a chance to put things in some sort of context and just think, right, I'm not in control of what other people do. I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to be a good person. And then you can move on. I think it's really healthy to get emotions out as well if something's really upsetting you. And it's always that same old saying, isn't it? A trouble shared is a trouble halved, or a problem shared is a problem halved. And I think that is true. And me as a midwife, constantly, I'm telling women that if you've got any anxieties and worries, it's never stupid. If it's worrying you, it's probably something that other people have been worried about before. So you should never feel worried about little things that concern you, because hopefully somebody along your way can put your mind at ease. So, right. So we've talked about the Duck-It bucket, and because I've left it in the car, I'm going to have to take a picture of it and show you what the Duck-It bucket is, because I think I'll be using the Duck-It bucket a damn sight more. So things that you can do in pregnancy. Now, I've come across this week where it's just been so difficult for women who find themselves in the consultant clinic and faced with having to make a choice about something in their care, and they're chatting with the doctors about it, but they don't have their advocate, they don't have their partner, they don't have their wingman there with them to say, you know, to listen to what's been said and then chat it over. So not only is the woman there on their own having to take it all in when they're going, oh my God, I don't know whether I want to do this. I don't know if this is the right decision. I wish I had my partner here to just go over it and have a chat through with it. So it's been difficult, and that is an added anxiety that women didn't have before, you know, because their partner would say, well, hang on a minute, she said to me that she feels like this, so maybe we want to think about this, or maybe we want to talk about a different approach. Cat's back again. So that's been really, really difficult and an added anxiety. And one of the things that I thought that is helpful to do in pregnancy is have a notebook. Have a notebook, and, you know, you can write little things in your notebook if you know you've got a consultant appointment coming up, just to know that you've got the things written down that is the things that you want to ask about, or the things that are concerning you. Because very often at consultants appointments, or sometimes midwives appointments, people will text me back or phone me back for midwives appointments and say, oh, I forgot to mention this, I forgot to mention that. So if you've written it down, it just means that you're not worrying about having to remember everything. And it means that you can have a discussion with your partner about your care and ask them what they think, and hopefully they're there as your advocate and trying to support you. But also I think that's really important for them to be able to feel like they're involved in your care. And, you know, you can say to them, is there anything that you want me to ask while I'm there? And I just think by having things written down, it makes the interaction at the doctor's much more efficient. So you can say, these are the things that are troubling me, these are the things I want to ask about, instead of going, oh God, what was it? I can't really remember. You know, you're being efficient with your time and the doctor's time, and hopefully getting the right answers that you want. Hi Emma, how are you? So I like a notebook. I really like a notebook, because I think it's my age, but I'm starting to just forget stuff left, right and centre. And do you know what? I've got notebooks everywhere. Good things take time. I've got a pile of them here because I can't live my life. 1, without a diary, and 2, without loads of notebooks to remember everything in my life. So, and very often when you're pregnant, you've got 1,000,001 things to think about as well. And if you've got other children as well, you know, you've got so many things to think about, remember. I think sometimes if you put things on paper, you know, it empties your mind. And that leads me nicely on to, how are we doing for time? Oh, 1:45. Journaling. I've ordered a couple of pregnancy journals just to have a look through to see the ones that I like, just to see what's in them, because as we know, because I've got a journal. Where's my journal? I don't know what I've done with it. I think it's in my bedroom. But I've got a journal about things like goals and what you organise in your week and what you want to achieve for the week. And I think that's really, really helpful. But also getting things off your chest. And I've said this before, if you are pregnant now or last year while we're going through this global pandemic, you are part of history. We're all part of history. And I'm not going to be 47 for forever. You know, hopefully I get to 77. And by 77, I might have some grandchildren and I can, you know, not only try and remember what happened, but if I've got my journal to say, you know, how are you feeling? And especially for pregnancy, how are you feeling? What it was like to go to appointments on your own, what you wanted to ask the doctors, you know, and then it's off your chest, and you'll be amazed that actually the act of writing something down just frees your brain up a little bit more because you've acknowledged that feeling and you've got it out. And it's lovely. I just think it's so lovely to record things at such a time in history. Anyway, so the last thing, right, that I've put on here is that I think's really good to help your mental health is dancing. Dancing, feel like dancing. Right, so what I do very, very often when I'm making tea in the kitchen on my own with the dogs, I have the radio on and I'm having a little bit of a boogie. And it makes you feel good. Things that make you feel good are not only, you know, all the senses, things like smells, tastes, sounds, they all contribute to helping your mental well-being. And, you know, when you hear your favourite good time tune come on, you can't help but having a little dancey, can you? So I think dancing in pregnancy is amazing. So, you know, when I'm doing these little snippets and I'm having a look for little bits and pieces, I found some YouTube videos, but because I'll show you the pictures that I found in the middle and on YouTube, and then I'm going to try and do a little dance for you, so to make you laugh, because I was laughing my head off before at these, laughing my head off. Right, and I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a minute. But lastly, I wanted to talk to you about support systems. So we're in lockdown, but there is still support out there. The doctors and the GPs are busy with the vaccination programs. We know this, but if you listen to any of them that do interviews on TVs, they say that, you know, other things that you need to access a GP for are important as well. And maternity care, particularly, we liaise a lot with the GPs, with ladies with pre-existing conditions as well. So they're there for you, you know. The GP is there. It might take you a little while to get an appointment, and it might be advice over the phone that you get, but the GPs are still there and they're still working, and it might be that the GP is the most appropriate person to help you with whatever it is that you're worrying about. But also just to remind you about symptoms to get checked out in pregnancy. So in my trust, we still give out a leaflet. I don't know whether I've got any of them. I haven't got any of them. Oh, yes, I have. So we have this leaflet, and I know it's just to show you what it looks like. Tommy's pregnancy information. So you can probably get this online. It's Tommy's pregnancy information. It looks like that, and it's got the list of things that you need to get checked out if you're experiencing. And so for more information, you can visit www.tommys.org/pregnancy. So that's got those things. So if you're sitting at home and you're worrying that your baby's not moving as much as normal and it's concerning you, you've got your local delivery suite to phone. They can give you advice over the phone, and we have a day assessment unit. Women should always have the contact numbers of those, and if you don't, speak to your midwife. You can always just Google, if in doubt, Google your local maternity unit. You can phone someone, because they're things that just examples of things that it's really important that you get checked out. Things like if you've got unusual symptoms, if you think your waters have gone, if you've if you think your waters have gone, if you're got any bleeding in pregnancy, things like that. And have a look at this. It's got all the ones. You should have that if you're in My Trust in this area. You should have had that with your booking pack. If you haven't, have a Google up Tommy's pregnancy information. You can probably find it on there. And also, another couple of really, really important support networks are in this area. So in the Lancaster area, there is the Baby Maze. The Baby Maze has got some really helpful information, and I know things are changing because there's not the same groups, but Baby Maze is a really helpful source of information in the local area. And also, the last thing I wanted to mention, which I've probably mentioned lots of times before, is Minds Matters. So your mental health matters always, but it matters in pregnancy as well. It's not going to be a healthy pregnancy if we haven't got a healthy mummy, and your mental health is part of your physical health. We need you to be well in preparation to have your baby, and we want you to be happy. So we all know it's a difficult time at the moment, and if you are worrying about your mental health, that you're not managing it well, you can self-refer. So if you Google Minds Matters, or it might be Mind Matters. I think it's Mind Matters. Mind Matters, I think it is. And you can self-refer if you're pregnant. There might be a little bit of a wait, but you can talk to your midwife about Minds Matters. But you can self-refer. And that they're there to help. They're a really good, valuable resource. And if you've got to wait, it's worth waiting for. And if you are in a crisis place, there is always, if you're worried that you're really, really, really poorly, there's what we call the crisis team, a mental health support that can help advise you as well. But hopefully we're not going to get anybody getting to that point, and we can do lots of things before we get to that point. So that brings me, and I'm going to have to move this out of the way, right? And you're going to laugh at me now. You're going to laugh at me. I'm going to have to move my chair as well. I should just shut my door, shouldn't I? Right. I don't think I can do this. Right, you guys. Right, I think I'm really, really late to this party. Right. What's it called? The baby mama dance. Well, let me get my chair, because I just want to show you these pictures. Right. I was Googling dancing because dancing was on my list of things to help with mental health. Oh my goodness. The baby mama dance. Baby mama dance. Who's heard of it? Am I so late to the party? I've got two older daughters. One of them's heard of it and one of them hasn't. I'm loving the baby mama dance, and I'm surprised I haven't seen more people doing it. You can probably, well, actually, I'm going to put on one of these. I'm going to put on a couple of them because they're absolutely brilliant. Right, so I'm going to show you the pictures So Baby Mama Dance is it's all to the same music, and it's like a choreographed routine. And the couple of ladies that I'm going to show you, they're doing it in labour, and it's ace and it's hilarious. Right, so this lassie here, she is 32 weeks in labour with triplets. I mean, she's so glamorous. Right, there you go, look at her. She's doing the Baby Mama Dance with her partner. And look at her. Look at her with the little one. Baby Mama Dance. And the dad's doing it. And do you know why I love it? Do you know why I love it? I love it because the partners are doing it with them and they're just laughing. So this lassie here, right, I'll show you the first picture. So this YouTube clip, she's saying, I'm doing this Baby Mama Dance, and he's going, right, she's getting a contraction there, and he's going, he sets the music off, and then she starts huffing and puffing, right, and then he's going, are you sure you want to do the Baby Mama Dance? And then she sort of gets herself together, right, and then she starts doing this dance. But I'll show you these pictures. She's in the throes of labour. I think this is in America, which I'm most encouraged by. So there you go, look at her. In the throes of labour. I'm definitely putting that one on. And the thing is, right, look at that one. There she is. She's getting down. She's getting down with the beats. It's absolutely hilarious. Please watch that. It'll make you laugh your head off. That woman is amazing. I mean, she looks far too glamorous. She looks amazing. But how cute is that? How cute is that? And I tell you something now. She's just laughing at him. And I don't know whether you notice, can you see this drip stand? I don't know whether they've got anybody from our my hospital who's watching at the moment, but I love that drip stand because it's got, can you see, it's got like handles. So that's nice and sturdy, and the drip stands we have in our hospital are a bit flimsy. So just to remind you, if you want to donate some money, I'm going to put my Just Giving page up again. But I like those. I've Googled drip stands and I can't see any with that sort of handle thing there. But flipping heck, I really like that. I'd love to buy some of those for our unit, so you can all do the Baby Mama Dance when you're in hospital, and if you need to have a drip for anything. Love that. Right, so I'm going to have to do the Baby Mama Dance. I can't learn it. I'm rubbish at dancing. I'm only doing this to make you laugh, right? So there's actually a tutorial. Shall I put the tutorial on for you? Like, I haven't got time. I haven't got time for this. But what I am going to do is I'm going to just go and prepare my baby belly. Right, so just hang on and I'll... Right, you lot have to join me as well. Hang on. Let me get off camera while I sort my baby belly out. Are you still there? Oh, I'm trying to put my baby belly in. It's only a cushion. I'm not really pregnant. Oh dear me. Oh dear me. Ah! Ah! Oh my God. Right, I'm ready for the Baby Mama Dance. Right, you ready? Baby Mama Dance? Right, you're just going to get the general gist of it. Right, I'm putting it on here. I hope you can hear it.
When the song come on, let me see you get down. Baby mama, this shit stop been pregnant away. I tell the DJ turn it on.
Oh no, she's just doing a tutorial. Right, let's do it with the music. She's really good. So, this is a tutorial. I can't do it. Baby Mama Dance. Right, I'm going to put another one so you can hear the Baby Mama. This is hilarious. Oh, there's some crackers on here. It's so... I don't want to watch the tutorial. Go on, let's have a look at that. Oh my God, you've got to look at some of these. There's some quite nice looking gentlemen on here. Right, you ready? She's going now.
When the song come on, let me see you get down. Baby mama, this shit stop been pregnant away.
I'm just copying her. I don't know whether she's got all the moves. And she does all these. Drop down low. Right, that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Cancel. Oh my God. Oh, I love it. I've got to watch it again. It's good, isn't it? Oh God, I've got to put some of these on for you. Oh, it makes me feel. Oh. Oh, Liga is so funny. It's so hilarious. I don't know which ones to choose. I tell you what, you start watching these. Oh, it's so funny. You'll be addicted to watching those. It's hilarious. Right, with that, I'm going to go because I've got to take my daddy's pie, Meals on Wheels. Oh, you have a dance after work. And I tell you what, that's how out of shape I am. My friend Bev better not be able to see. I can't take on any fitness classes because I'm too unfit. I need to start getting walking. Right, anyway, I'm going to get rid of my pregnant belly and get going. Leave you all because I've been chunnering on for... Oh, the best ones, Liga, are the ones where they're in labour. They're just amazing. I can't believe I've not seen any baby mama dances in labour, and I want to see some. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you soon.